Hello and welcome to the Argyle CFO Leadership Forum. My name is Brittany Sullivan with Argyle, and it's great to have everyone joining us today. I have some important information to share with you, and then we will turn the floor over to our esteemed opening keynote speaker. First, we would like to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, Insight Software. At any time during today's event, you can visit their virtual booth from the main agenda page, which includes complimentary materials, information, and meet and greet opportunities. We also welcome you to stay socially connected during today's event. For those of you who are active on social media, please use the hashtag ArgyleDigital and follow us at Argyle Exec Forum. Also, be sure to follow Argyle on LinkedIn for special announcements. I would also like to take a moment to touch on our content neutrality policy, which we have curated based on the feedback we have received over the years from our members. We have worked closely with our speaking faculty to ensure that you receive a set of balanced and neutral viewpoints during the sessions today, and we truly appreciate our members' support of this policy. Finally, and most importantly, we would love to hear from you. So during each session, we encourage you to submit your questions and comments in the Q&A box on your screen. Following each presentation, we have set aside time for our speakers to weigh in on your questions. Thank you again for joining us. Now let's get started. Without further ado, I would like to introduce Valkyr Correa, Vice President of Corporate Finance at Baha Mar. We're excited to have Val with us for his opening keynote titled FP&A Strategies for Long-Term Success. Welcome, Val, and over to you.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here to share with you some strategies on how to create success and long-term and achieve those long-term goals, right? In terms of FP&A strategies. We're going to start with a story that I want to share with you. It's from the time that I was a financial controller back in Mexico. And then hopefully you enjoy this story and understand the foundations of those stories. So those foundations that you're gonna hear, right, and what happened there, the idea here is to at least to give you some perspective and some knowledge on how can you successfully build those foundations around your company. Okay, and then to start with, a simple thing, the first thing that we need to understand, right, of course, is to make sure, right, that you understand that by yourself, nothing is it's possible, and then you need to involve everybody. So that's the thing. When I got the first opportunity as a financial controller back in 2012, right? I came to this hotel in Mexico. And then after, those 6 months of trying to accommodate and be, implementing all my ideas and things like that, I still had in my mind that old school type of mentality in terms of accounting and controlling and FP&A, providing forecast, commentary, all these things, right? So the thing that people teach me there, right, to be able to enjoy these opportunities, the controller needs to be the one saying no all the time, right? So, but again, I did my job for 6 months. And then while, trying to accommodate myself in the different culture and implementing all these different controls, right? It came next year, right? We provided the budget. It was approved. Everybody was happy. And then January came. And then it was about the time that you needed to provide like a realistic forecast for the next 3-4 months, right? And then we were not having a good year. We started with some weird situations there in that hotel that didn't allow us, right, by the minds of the salespeople and the general manager. So they didn't believe that we will be able to meet the goals that was established by the budget. And then when you do this type of thing, and I believe that everybody can feel the pain, right, with me. I received that call from corporate, right, from my boss, with very encouraging words, as you may believe, saying, "How the hell is this possible?" Right? I brought you here to change the entire thing. And now your first year, your first budget, you are saying that you are not being able to accomplish what was established and approved by the budget. And of course, I was hearing him, right? This interesting call, it lasted for about 30 minutes, hearing him talking all these different situations. And then I was thinking, why am I responsible for sales? Why am I responsible to drive business here? Shouldn't this be the responsibility for the general manager, maybe the director of sales? And then I had that conflicting, battle in my mind going back and forth. And then, for a few occasions that I was able to interject, I was asking him, hey, why you are asking the controller of the hotel um, things that is not, under my control. So his encouraging words were, well, you let me know if the executives, right, in this hotel if they are able to accomplish the goal, or I need to, bring someone that can do it, the job. And then, of course, I didn't take those words because he was a very good leader. He was not, he was upset about what was happening to the hotel, but not with me specifically, right? I think that was like a wake-up call for me that he brought me to do something different. He brought me because he believed I had what was, in his opinion, the modern way to do uh, to lead the finance team there. And not just the finance, but the entire hotel. So it was a very interesting moment in my life that you had to change a little bit the chip inside of your mind. And from the position of sitting in a back seat and watching what is happening and just informing your corporate, I had to change that approach. So the first thing that I asked this boss, right, in the call was, am I allowed to get inside of the operation departments? Am I allowed to tell them maybe how to sell things? Am I allowed to be part of strategic sales meetings and see how they are selling things, right? And he said, you are allowed to do whatever is necessary to accomplish budget. So I don't care what needs to be done. This hotel is being doing the same thing for the last 5 years. Every time they provide like a budget and they don't meet those numbers. So something needs to happen there, right? You guys need to do something different. And then I take these type of things in my life very seriously. And then I love challenge. So I brought the the those encouraging words to the executive committee, right? And then as you may know, it was not a fun meeting. But I believe they got the message. But again, human mind is very interesting. They always got back to what they are used to their comfort zone. Uh, but not me, right? So I asked them, of course, for their help. In the beginning, I didn't get it in any. And then one of the things that I said to them is say, hey, by ourselves, by alone, we're not going to be able to accomplish. We are in a hotel. We have 250 employees around, so most likely they have ideas. So why not sharing with them our goals, what we need to accomplish this year, and get from them some feedback, right? We do not necessarily need to do what they're asking, but at least we can hear and get a feeling from them. Little I know what was about to create in that hotel. But that's the story, right? So I did a couple of sessions with the team, like a brainstorm session in a format that everybody could give their opinions without a fear of retaliation or being ashamed by head of departments. We had a very, diverse group between different backgrounds within those sessions to avoid, of course, bias and fear of sharing thoughts. And then, every single sessions that I was doing, because my goal was to accomplish 100% of the associates, to share those thoughts and help me building those strategies, right? The sales strategies, cost saving strategies, um, to accomplish the budget that year. And then, after 20 sessions with all these different associates giving ideas, we generated over 200 ideas of revenue generation and then the cost savings. And then it was an amazing experience because I was able to connect with every single employee in that hotel. And then, of course, sometimes you can say, well, my company have 5,000 employees, which is where I work today, right? I work with in a resort with 5,000 employees. How can you do these sessions all around? But again, remember, as you can see here, right? It's a everyone task. It's not just yours. Of course, in that what is relevant for that story, I was able to perform these sessions with the entire team, and then what happened is something that I really believe, and then I even bring this today in my all my experiences, bringing the team up to speed to the goals that you have, but not just these PDFs or emails that fly around, or talking to them, and then having these discussions about, hey, this is our goals. How could we accomplish that? What are your ideas? That created in that hotel a sense of belonging and a sense of meaningful feelings, right? They felt that they were part of something. And then we did it fun, right? And then of course there was prize for people's ideas and all of that nice things. But what ended up happening, right? It was a very powerful and touching moment in that place. So I had ideas like, selling tacos, right? We were a lifestyle hotel that the GM believed that, tacos shouldn't be part of the menu, but we are Mexico. And people were just driving around finding something that we could be offering in our hotel. So just the tacos idea generated about $50,000 more in revenue. Then we had like another guy from the pool saying, "Hey, why we don't create some type of commission structure with the high-end hotels around, right, to bring their VIPs here." In Mexico, you have all these type of hotels, which is all inclusive, which they don't like to have people around because they are consuming, right, all this different food. So sending them to other places help them to achieve their financial goals there. So, and if they are VIPs, we want them. So we started to give commissions to the concierge team around those properties to bring all these different high-end customers, and that idea by itself generated another $250,000 more in revenue. Another thing that we did as well is we teached the servers, for example, right, and the concept of mix of sales, right? They were selling a lot of champagnes, which had like a 33% beverage cost, but they didn't know that, right? And then our vodkas and our hard liquors, they had like an 8% direct cost. So imagine that now with that powerful knowledge in their hands about mix of sales, they started to even promoting, right, the hard liquors that had like a lower direct cost. And then what happened there is that our direct cost started to shift from 20% to 15%, right? A huge increase. That by itself generated another, at the bottom line, about $200,000 in extra benefit in that bottom line. So all these different ideas were starting to pile up. And then what happened is at some point I was walking the property and I had all these different line level stuff and then head of departments asking me how we are performing versus budget. And then, oh, hey, I have another idea here that maybe can help you. So by the end of October, we were at a 98% of accomplished budget. So that experience, explained the importance of involving everyone. And then that means, right? that this pillar of everyone together that I want to share with you, it's very important, right? So sharing those informations, right? The business goals, it's very important for you if you want to really build long-term success. Okay, collaboration, right? Idea sharing, right? That's what I was accomplishing without even thinking about that, right? And of course, creating this sense of engagement. So these are the things that I really believe in. And since then, I always try to implement these type of things around the departments that I work and the hotels, and we always make a difference. So this is something that you guys really need to focus on your teams, in your companies, to make sure that you are addressing that and building that pillar. Okay. So what we can learn from that, and it's something that you guys really need to push inside of your company. Teach, right? Make sure you take quality time, right? Be strategic about it. I know we don't always are struggling with time, but that those are investments that you do that pay off like really amazing in the future. Teaching people on financial literature is very important. Teach them about their own financials. This brings a ton of benefits for you, right? This cross-department meeting, something that when you have a bellboy telling you what you should be selling in the restaurant, we all know, right? Sometimes we don't see because we live in that situation. So having an outside perspective always help. So cross department meetings, like I did there, right? And make it fun, right? We are here to enjoy what we are doing. So make sure that you do that. You connect with people. So to build right this strong and very effective way, right? So you can achieve success. It's very important to understand it. Sometimes our people in finance, they believe that they are detached from the company somehow. Um, they don't kind of feel responsible and you're not even part of the success of the department. We sometimes work like an auditors, but if you make that change, if you make that little step towards understanding that you play an amazing role and you can make an amazing difference, you will see the results. People see you not with fear eyes, but now actually with with the eyes of an amazed person. So they see you as someone that can provide guidance, and this is an amazing feeling. I really recommend you to do it. And then if you don't care about those things, well, believe they will do things because people have pride on what they're doing. They want to make sure that the company is succeeding as well. And if they believe that their ideas and opinions are being shared and even implemented, amazing things can happen from there. So this is the first pilot, right? Everyone together, okay, in a smart way. The second thing that's very important to understand, and now getting in a more technical aspect of it, right? You need to build around your modules the concept of agility and efficiency, right? And really start to think about how can you build on-time information that can help you, right? Forecast and explain and do budgeting, but not just to make sure that you are representing numbers, but you actually helping your departments achieving those success. We are not there just to report. Please change that peace of mind, that structure if you have it, right? I believe nowadays it's a very nice approach that we are taking. I see the change, but it's still there, right? Take the approach of proactive helping the departments. So one time means as soon as something change, you are informed. So be creative, right? Make sure that you build this type of communication with the departments. Sometimes it can be using a pay tool, right? Sometimes it can be an email. It sometimes can be something that you build in your own network environment where people can just go online and fill it. Be creative, okay? Understand that. We're gonna go in more details, but it's very important for you to become agile, right? In your way of thinking, in your way of that you're building your modules, and how these different on-time information can help you build very powerful um, modules so you can forecast and budget properly. Okay, so remember, um, and remember that, right? And of course, be careful because sometimes we work in structures that are very rigid, and then the bigger the company, the more rigid is that structure. So sometimes we believe that we can't make any difference. But look, past experience always serves of something, right? I always had, and I believe, a lot of people here in this presentation have as well. I always had like the corporate structure and my structure, right? And then my structure feeding the corporate formats. And the reason is because, to achieve this on time thing, and because the forms are so rigid, it's important for you to have those two type of things, right? So if you don't, I highly recommend you to do that, right? And then link to your corporate structure what you have. And that, right, your side control improve little by little by adding all these different features of on-time information. So you can, every day you go online, or if you have some type of um, online tool that you can see what is happening to your department. So you can see exactly what is happening. That thing is being feed and properly updated. So you can see where during the month are your pain points, your bottlenecks, or your struggles. So you can act immediately by activating some sort of emergency protocol, or whatever, right? So things that for you to understand here in terms of being agile, right? And then this is something that I'm promoting around my talks, right? And then this is what we have here at Bahamar. It's of course consider, right, hiring someone in finance that's good in programming, coding. This brings an amazing power for your team, right? Someone with that knowledge and with the finance background, and now it's being more and more um, um, common to find those type of profiles. You can achieve so much and so fast. Not the IT department, okay? Someone with finance background that can help you build all these different automations within, your own environment, okay? So then of course, look for solutions that are accurately integrated. For example, you can mention a couple of them like Oracle Hyperion or OneStream, a very nice company that does a lot of integration. The idea of them is to create this one source of truth, right? So you can have all these different modules integrating just one place, and from that build your own modules. Uh, but of course, it depends on the size of your company and our beloved Excel, right? A bunch of things we do in Excel, so don't be afraid of using it. And then just as that, if you're a big company, maybe you already have your tool for FP&A. If you don't, well, considering here there are two options, but Excel also works, right? Don't be afraid of using one of the most used tools around the world, right? And of course, create this open communication with the other departments where they can provide you in your modules, right? This constant feed of information about what is happening. For example, here we have a golf course. And of course, one of the things that affects directly is the weather. So our modules all have connections from the weather. We don't rely on the team to tell us if it was raining or not. Simple. You connect that to feed and then boom, you have the weather there. But also, we sometimes we have in the resort a lot of um, a lot of groups, and that affects also the business, right? You can have maybe a very low occupancy, but a group of golfers. Then boom, you have the golf department completely full. So those things are very important, and you can only know these type of things if you have this feed of information being pushed to your modules. Very important. Okay. So make sure that you are receiving those feedbacks from the departments, from external sources. Make sure you build your modules with that mindset. How can I integrate this different information into my module automatically on time? And then you see this is it makes a huge difference for you. Okay. So now, right, after those two initial pillars, let's go to our third, right, which is, of course, harnessing this this thing about information within your company. So remember, this is a marathon and not a sprint, like I'm saying here, right? And why? Because every single thing that you try to bring to your module, right, it should be in little steps. Okay, even if you have a rigid tool that you need to push information, your own module, the one that you build, your working sheets, your schedules, right? So they are the ones that should be feeding with those information. And one of the things that you need to start to open your mind for, right, is the concept of big data. And what that means, like this company that showed before, it's called one stream. The idea here is that imagine if you can have a place, and then we did here in our resort, we built a SQL server, right? Where we integrate different reports from all these different sources, right? That's relevant for our modules. And then from that, and then it's being feed automatically every single day or every single hour, depending on of course, each one of the systems that we work with. And after those reports are ingested in this SQL server, now we start to build our modules or reconciliations and things that we do here internally. So this is very important, and this is one of the things that we need to start to think is to create this one source of truth. Okay, so sometimes we believe our systems are integrated, but not necessarily, right? Sometimes it's very hard to make them communicate to each other. But if you can create something like that, I highly recommend you to do it, right? Find tools that can help you, okay? Shopping around, participate in different forums, right? Travel a little bit, get out of your chair and see what is going on in the market. So you can, bring to your company new ideas, right? There's plenty of systems around the market of today that can offer a lot of things for you. Um, and remember, gradually, you know, add a specific data, see how that behaved in your modules. And then once it's stabilized, then you go to another, and then you go to another. And you keep little by little incrementing your modules until it becomes very robust. Okay? And then, some key takeaways that it's very important from this conversation that we are having. Okay, it's um, it's 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 what we're gonna mention here, and then I really believe that if you follow these ideas, and you understand what I'm trying to transmit here, you will for sure, right, ensure long-term success in your FP&A endeavor. Okay, so remember, first one, interact, people. Okay, make sure that your team it's very well groomed and knowledgeable, but they shouldn't be only the only ones that you should be taking care. Okay, teach and share the goals with every single person. Okay, your operation departments, your sales and marketing departments, share those, explain to them, make them your financial partner. Okay. Number two, the concept of one source of truth. Okay. Make sure to consider that this idea to have one place where you can have all these different systems from your environment pushing data into this one unique place. And after it's here, you start to build like these different modules, schedules, so you can have all the data in just one place instead of going to this system to take one report and to another system to take another report and try to build this together. Consider this concept one source of truth. And of course, right, our roles, right, are evolving. So please make sure to consider hiring a financial programmer in your company. This type of professional can provide you an amazing possibility. So consider that, hire that, and tell me later how that went. Okay, I'm really very eager to learn how was your experience with that. Okay, and then with that, I really thank you guys for hearing me today. I appreciate the opportunity that Argyle always provide for us to share our knowledge, right? Here is my LinkedIn profile that if you want, you can connect and we can share some insights as well. So it was a pleasure. My name again is Valkyr Correa. I'm the VP of Finance at Bahamar, an amazing resort in the Bahamas. And with that, I give back to the team. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you so much, Val, for such an incredible keynote. I also want to thank everyone else for joining us today. This session, along with all of today's content, will be made available on demand following the event. Our next session will begin at 11:35 Eastern, which will be a panel titled Finance Strategies and Innovation for Growth. Please click the join button that will appear on your screen to be redirected, and we look forward to seeing you there.